From 17 once again. This is my Metal Gear Solid 3 European Extreme video walkthrough. This is the Shagohad chase, and this is one of the surprisingly challenging parts of the game. So I wasn't expecting this to be tough at all, and I died maybe 5 or 6 times because of rocket launcher people, and because shooting while moving is tricky. And if you sedated Volgin, you will have an armor, what am I talking about? A piece of camouflage that means if you're facing enemies, they don't shoot you. So you can exploit this section by only looking at them, looking at the lethal people to allow you to shoot them. Oh, this is dumb as well. This is another mistake on my part. I knew I would be using something called reload cancelling with the RPG to kill the Shagohad, and I'm not really good at it, I noticed when I tried, which was really annoying. And what's going to happen in this sequence, like an idiot, is I'm going to hurt myself with splash damage from a rocket launcher because I'm shooting to try and practice before the fight. Don't do that, guys. Just ignore it. Don't do it. You need all the life you can get for the next section, and this is just not going to help. Like, look, I just hit it. I hurt Ava then. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the rhythm in my hand for it. And you might be thinking, well, you can do it with the Mark 22. How is it any different? Well, I don't know why, but it is. And you'll notice I'm pressing it too many times, you know, because sometimes the triggers, I don't like them. Same with the Mosin again. The reload cancel on it I find to be really finicky on this controller. And I know it's a weak excuse, folks, and it's something that I can definitely work on. And after time, I'd probably get really comfortable with it, but I recorded this guide in the space of 2 days, so, you know, it's a nice quick one, so I can't exactly take the time to get super good at everything. But if you want that, there is plenty of Metal Gear Solid 3 footage of just ultimately flawless runs. But this is about the point when I start getting the rhythm a little bit better, and my hand starts doing what it's told. But I end up hurting myself, as I keep mentioning, and it's so dumb. I don't know why I did it. And you might be thinking, well, why didn't you restart? Well, this section, because it's not that challenging, and all the damage I'm doing here is pretty much to myself and random soldiers, I got to a checkpoint before, and I didn't save in this sequence because I was too busy recording. So this is my checkpoint now, with tiny life, and on this sequence where there's a ton of dudes with rocket launchers that do massive damage. So these early guys don't matter because you don't have to hit them. If you can hit them, you know, it's pretty tricky, but it's definitely possible. I just don't even try because I suck. But the first person you really have to kill are these guys and the guy on the roof. Guy on the roof is super important. You don't kill him, you're dead. And then when you kill these two, it ends this sequence and you move on to the next part. The next part involves, I think it's 4 dudes rushing at you that you have to shoot, and then when you drive back round, there's going to be a rocket launcher guy on this roof. So it's the roof to your left. He doesn't show up on this first pass. This is just an opportunity to kill some people early, and you know, I'm making a fantastic job of it, as you can see. But these people have to die now. So trank these guys. Then there's these dudes that run, so trank them. And then Ava's going to drive to the place we just were, where these people ran from, and on the roof is going to be a dude with a rocket launcher. If I miss now, I lose. This guy has to hit. Luckily enough, I hit him. You know, I couldn't hit anybody else, but I hit him, and that's what matters. So you don't have to shoot any of these, because you're going to get hurt, but luckily enough they don't do that much damage, because the developers obviously knew that this section was bullshit. So this guy here, if you don't hit him, you'll die. And luckily enough, I hit him. And here is the checkpoint. And it doesn't look that bad, does it? But I died a handful of times because hitting people on a moving sidecar is kind of tough. And you're going to see more of it in the forest chase, because, God, I'm terrible at that one. Should have used the Mark 22, but instead I decided to use a Mosin Nagant, and it's just embarrassing, so you're going to have a nice little chuckle at that. So here's a technique that I noticed a speedrunner doing. Instead of killing the driver, if you kill the sidecar person, you'll not spawn any more enemies and nothing can shoot you, and you can just kind of time out this sequence. You'll notice I hit the driver on those 2 shots. It wasn't really intentional. The aim is swinging around so much, it can be difficult sometimes to shoot who you want. And I suck, so that helps. But because I messed it up, I decided to just shoot the driver, and on this bit, I think I shoot the sidecar person. I think I do it properly. So there's the sidecar guy. It's wobbling. There's the next guy. Not you. You. It's wobbling. It's wobbling. There you go. Oh, I missed. Can't even tell if that hit or not. That looked like it hit. Yeah, it's not the biggest fan of this sniper rifle, even though it's really cool. Like everything about it except for shooting it. So now that it's just the drivers, they're not going to give me any trouble, so I decided to start shooting at the Shagohad. Because I learned by watching a speedrun a couple of years back that... I say years back, which one was it? It might have been a more recent one a couple of months back. That you can damage the Shagohad before the fight, and it'll make it a little bit quicker. But because I'm not going for any kind of crazy speedrun or anything, I don't really have to. But it's an excuse to practice the reload cancels with the RPG for the Shagohad fight. And any excuse to practice is a decent one for me. So I'm trying to take out the sidecar guys, but I think Shagohad just drives over him anyway. And then we get to practice the reload cancelling again. So at this point, I think I've got the rhythm down on the trigger. You know, I've kind of acclimatized to it. And after this video, there's the Shagohad fight, and it's in 2 phases. The first phase is easy, but I don't get it. Like, I know what you've got to do. You've got to hit the tread to slow it down, and then you've got to shoot its back. There's like an open damage part on the back of its head. But I was hitting it and doing no damage, and the fight took like 4 minutes, and I know you can do it quicker than that. I must have just been doing something wrong. And I don't know if it's because the boss gets iframes. I really don't understand. This is probably the... Aside from Metal Gear Solid 4, this is the Metal Gear that I know the least about when it comes to the bosses. Because on Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, because I had twin snakes, and because of, obviously, Metal Gear Solid 2, I played those 2 games to death. And I played this game a lot, but nowhere near the same amount. And I've only ever beaten Metal Gear Solid 4 once, because I really didn't like it. Which is an opinion that stuns a lot of people, but I've got some really, really strong feelings about that game, and I'm hoping to go back to it and play it again with an open mind to try and enjoy it a little bit better. And I've got a great excuse now, because it's one of the only games in this series I haven't covered on the channel, so I could do a big boss run through. But if anybody didn't know what just happened there, you have to shoot the bombs to get rid of all of them but one, and then when the Shagohad enters the bridge, if you shoot the bomb, it'll trigger the cutscene and it'll take us to the next sequence, which is the boss fight. So thank you for watching, and you take care now.